God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. Level up. Level up. Go. Everything that means.
We ain't gonna start this shit.
We ain't start today.
I will call and we ain't gonna start that.
Second time, but it's
That's
okay.
the second time. So it's just cutting off like right there. So no. Mm-mm.
It says we live.
We are live. Yes.
What's up?
Ivy, I love you. Girl, I be going back looking at the podcast and you be like, okay, I gotta go. Like she'll literally leave. Anyway, we got people in the room right now. This is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by God Level. That will be me. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm an aunt, I'm a Gigi, I'm a cousin, I'm a friend. I'm an entrepreneur. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has 5 hip-hop albums streaming on all major music streaming platforms now. Dimensions, Higher Dimensions, Final Dimension, Law of Affirmations, and Light Benders. Positive conscious hip-hop, lyrics, bars, student of hip-hop. Salute, plug in.
Salute. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. I want to say real quick, I am very appreciative to be a part of this panel. I love you all. And as always, I'm of service. Yes, sir.
Okay, AP's having some technical difficulties. Miss Ivy Tanner, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
I shall represent. Hello, good people. It's your girl Ivy. I'm a former broadcast journalist, former Army broadcast journalist. I'm a mom, a sister, former media operations specialist. But now these days, I am with these wonderful people who you see here on this panel. Entertaintive Ivy on TikTok. I talk about mental health, ADHD for Black girls, for Black people, for the children's. Me and my hamsters, we be in the business. And yeah, as always, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
That's what's up. I don't know where AP went.
There she is.
Oh, she back. Oh,
there she is.
Oh, let's add her back.
Come on, girl.
All right, AP, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Yes, can y'all hear me? Because I'm having hella technical difficulties.
You know, they told me to switch up to Firefox. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
My name is AP. I want to introduce my new nonprofit. Am I cutting out?
Yeah, it's cutting out real bad. Okay, then this is Firefox. I'm going back to Google. Sir Google A. Because this is not happening. And I will be texting them again.
I'm trying to make sure I have everything logged off of my internet.
Okay. Okay.
Am I good?
You're great. Go right ahead, man.
So my name is AP, and I want to introduce today. Y'all don't know about this yet, but I'm gonna introduce it. Sisters Empowerment House. That's my new non-for-profit that I will be doing some mentorship with young ladies and just teaching them about loving themselves and loving each other. Because you know, women, we are the first love of any human being. So we got to do better on teaching these people, these little people, how to love themselves.
I love it, little people.
And how to go out in the world and love others, because I think that's what it takes to make that world. So that I will be doing my first group tomorrow. at 5:30. So I'm excited about that, and we will be touching on social skills and communication.
Girl, you just
So
doing the
that is
damn
my
thing.
big announcement for now. I got more to come, but
There you
You
go.
gotta do it.
Congratulations.
that's
Give them girls.
that's
Oh
just the
Congratulations.
my
start.
God. That's what's up. That's
Queen.
what you call giving back to the community right there. Oh yeah, when we definitely need that. Oh, let me know if I can come down and be of assistance. I don't know what I can know what I can
Thank you
do. What I
guys.
can
Thank y'all so much. I am so excited.
say. Things that people don't want to talk about. Not enough time in the world for that conversation. Might need multiple parts for this. Who dropped that?
That was Mr. Sean Tiberius Russell.
Oh hey,
Mr.
Wow.
hey
Sean
Sean.
Tiberius. We have already had part two. Let's go.
This is part
Let's
two
get it going.
actually. What's our first question, John?
Oh, real quick,
Well,
John. While you putting that up, I just want to throw this out here real quick.
Oh,
Small little disclaimer. I need everybody on the panel.
thank you.
I need you to put up a little
Thank
circle
you.
like this. Put up a little circle like this. AP, where you at?
circle, circle, circle.
Yeah. Put
Put the
your little
circle
circle.
up,
Okay.
AP. She
Can
don't
she
know
hear me?
what we do. I don't think so.
Okay, look. Inside of this circle,
Hmm.
everybody repeat after me. Inside of this circle,
Inside of this
Out of the
circle
circle,
this represents all that I know
this
represents all that
represents
Represents
I
all
all
that
know
that
I
I
know
know
and all that I think I know.
and
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 all that
all
all
I
that
that
think
I
I
I
know.
think
think
I
I
know.
know.
All the space on the outside of this
Y'all
circle
couldn't have circle.
All the space on
All
the
the space on
outside
the
of this
All
outside
the
circle
space on the outside of the circle
is
Circle.
all that I don't know.
is
is
all
all
that
that
I
I
don't know.
don't
is all
know.
that I know.
It's a whole bunch.
But it means that I will know if I take the time to study.
But it
Oh,
means
Well,
will
I
know
will
if
We
you
know
will
take the
if I
time to
take the
know
study.
if I
time to
take the
time
study.
to
time to
study.
study.
I can rock
With
with that.
all with all that being said, let's not discount any information that we receive or we transmit and hold ourselves accountable to other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
There you go. That's what's up.
I'm down with that.
Let's get into it.
Well, hold
As we
on.
fly.
Set the foundation. Golly, man.
I'm putting
Can
myself in
we
mute
can we
already.
can we can we do a review? Like, what's
A
religion, y'all?
re-
Yeah,
Goals
there
of
you go.
religion, purpose of religion. Like, come on, let's foreplay.
Yeah, let's do some recap of like last week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be kind
Okay,
of
go
good. You
straight
know,
to it.
I mean, we
Last
had
week
a
was
Webster's
hot.
dictionary. We had a no, it wasn't Webster's. It was Oxford.
No, it was
Oxford.
Oxford. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
We
had an
talked
Oxford
about, yeah.
definition.
Mm-hmm. You
We had a
spoke
lot
on
of people
that.
call in.
We had a lot of people call in and leave messages. Thank you for
Mhm.
that. We really appreciate that. Um, the
What was
topic.
that Oxford definition of religion?
It was me paraphrasing, if I can remember, right?
Okay.
It was basically the following of a power that people believe that some people can believe is superhuman, i.e., a god or gods. Some people,
Mm,
there was also a definition that stated that religion was a cultural thing, as in you could say that Prince is my religion, right? Also,
mm.
it was defined as, oh shoot, now I gotta go get my what's name and look it up.
The belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers,
There you go.
especially a god or gods.
There you go. Yep,
And
that's it.
your response to that, so that could mean believing in self.
Okay.
Bam. Okay.
That's
All right,
true. Yeah.
but ultimately, we are talking about a concept, right? We are talking about a
Mm,
concept, and it's a concept that's not. We don't have a consensus on the exact definition. There are, a lot of definitions, but we know what it involves, right? There are
mhm,
certain elements to religion, such as beliefs, practices, rituals, customs, um, moral values, and the institutions involved, right? So that's what we're talking about when we're speaking about religion. We're speaking about a concept that involves these things. They give us our moral guidance and instructions, and they also connect us, right? And we also discussed like some of the beliefs, some of the goals and the purposes of religion, which are why do we have it?
Why do we have it now?
Why have we been having it as a species?
Some people want to feel connected to something that's higher than themselves.
Mm.
Okay.
Some people want to feel like they are connected to a community or a group. Some people
Fellowship.
want to wield power with religion.
Control.
Some
Okay.
people want to they want to procure.
And then to have a moral compass or code.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of different reasons why people procure religion or a specific religion
Mhm.
as opposed to spirituality.
Mhm.
Let's
Meaning,
also
purpose.
understand that. Also understand that religion is sometimes it's part of your culture. So you're like
Yes.
kind of like born into a ritualistic practice, like a way of life or an induction to life.
That is true. Almost like an indoctrination to like you need to be raised like through a religion in order to understand how to function as like people who are Jewish. You know, like they not only consider it a religion, but they also consider it, you know, like their cultural way of life.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like how to
like
yeah.
the
So
rite
do
of
you
passage.
do you
Mhm.
think you should be exposing children to religion?
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Mm.
Oh,
Hmm.
Why would you say no? Why would you say no?
I didn't say no. That was my internal hamster being like, Ivy, shut down. So I'm gonna put myself on mute. Thank you.
Uh,
All
God
right,
level. Why would you
let's
say no?
remember, y'all. Let's remember when we're talking about religion, we're not talking about one. We're not talking about
Talking about
three. We're
multiple.
talking about
Mhm.
all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Why would you should you expose your children? Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Like how
Definitely.
else do you want the okay, let's get the basis out the way.
Go
Again,
ahead.
having a sense of meaning and purpose that is higher than your family.
It
That
is.
is more than what your family can give you.
Right.
Okay. So we even had at once upon a time we had our dear Coach D on here, and he spoke of the Kemetic religion
Mm-hmm.
before Akhenaten came
Mhm.
out as the inventor of monotheism, that
Mhm.
Oh
one God, right?
Mhm.
Before that, we had a religion in Kemet,
Okay.
yeah.
right? So are
Okay.
we saying that they shouldn't have done it? Is that what we're
Mm.
saying?
Oh,
All right.
Could never
All
say
right.
that.
Now let's move that one out the way. Let's move that one out the way, okay?
Okay.
Buddhism.
Hmm. Okay.
Now there is a lot of scientific research that supports Buddhism, right? And it
Okay.
can hardly be called a religion. Hardly. If anything, it could be
Mm.
called a philosophy. If you look it up, if you look at their tenets, it's very practical, it's very pragmatic. There's no worship of a deity. There's no worship.
Nope.
It's just saying
I actually like that. Yeah. No, I wasn't disagreeing with you. I
oh,
was
okay,
actually
okay.
I actually wanted to agree. I like it. I like it because they're yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Go
So,
ahead.
I mean, just we talked about practices and rituals, right?
Mhm.
Meditation is not
Yes.
a Christian concept.
Ooh,
It
no,
is not a
no,
Christian
no.
concept. That comes from the Eastern traditions, and Buddhism didn't invent it. Let's start there too.
Ooh.
All right, because
See that?
Hinduism predates Buddhism. You don't get Buddhism until you get Siddhartha. Siddhartha was actually a Hindu.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
I
All right,
know.
so
I'm like,
all I'm doing is I'm just trying to lay the foundation.
Yeah. Precursors.
Religion
I got
has
you.
gotten
Yeah.
us. Religion has gotten us in through some very tough times as a species. All right, and we're talking across cultures. Across culture. So we're not just that's why I say we're not honing in on three, we're not picking on two, we're not picking
Mhm.
on one. I'm looking
Right.
at all of them, right?
Right. Okay.
Even Islam got some good stuff in there, and
Yeah.
Satanism got some good stuff in there too. So
Facts.
again, I want to just reiterate here, right? The purpose and the goals of religion. No matter what anybody argues against, there will always be evidence that supports the existence and the necessity for religion, because you can
Mhm.
create your own.
Mm.
that
That
is very
part.
true.
Hello. I was
Yeah.
gonna
You can
add
Very
that
true.
create your
part
own.
too.
And,
Yeah.
and let me
Yeah.
just
And people have.
Okay.
Go ahead.
somebody said last week, they said, if you feel that you need Jesus and Jesus is going to keep you from raising hell in the streets, right? Or if you feel like you need Buddhism or you need Taoism or you need whatever it is that you need, right?
Whatever ism.
To keep you right, to keep you at being your best self and to stop doing harm, you go
Do
to
that.
whatever it is that you need. And me, from my personal self, knowing that, like, just like 12-step programs, like, I've talked about the 12-step program, and one of the biggest one of the biggest principles of the 12-step program is finding a power that is higher than yourself, right? And that's it. That it doesn't matter what that higher power's name is. That higher power could be a field that you used to visit when you were a kid, and you feel like that field connected you to something that was bigger because you're just like, well, I can't do this, right? So yeah, I definitely feel that religion and that aspect and spirituality. Oh yeah, and yes, you should introduce that to kids. Definitely introduce that to kids, because they have to understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry, my bad.
Want to cook your noodle. Just to throw this out here. Most of the time, children tend to have a way of offsetting what is reality and deal in the realm of fantasy. You ever thought that to be a religion?
I'm gonna need for you to go ahead and break that one down.
Yeah,
go ahead and
speak up a little louder because you sound far away.
Well, I'm sorry. The way this set up. Hello. Can you hear me now? Is that a little bit?
Peace.
How many times have you seen a little boy play with the Tonka truck? How many times have you seen a little girl play with the doll?
Right.
And in these moments, we tend to idolize and worship these toys. As kids, we develop attachments, and sometimes to escape what's going on with the adults, we would go play. Just saying, just think about that. I'm just saying, as a kid, not knowing that you actually doing a practice to escape a reality or get away from either mama yelling at you or daddy yelling at you, and you internalize some of these things, and you pick up and you talk to your dad, well, Susie, well, Anna, or you get your little quartet.
Oh, where you believe that that could be related to animism if you really kind of think about it, which is also a religious practice, because in animism is like, used to pray. I mean, like, people who pray in animism, they believe in like rocks and streams and like the god of people pay to RuPaul. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you pray to the god of Tonka trucks and be like, well, I hope that you can keep mama and daddy from fussing tonight. Maybe that is, never really thought about it that way, but thank you for giving abstract thoughts.
Yes, go ahead.
And what about coping? What about coping? Coping with reality, coping with stress, coping with atrocities.
Is that a religious practice? Do you think that would be a religious practice, like the coping mechanism itself?
Let's talk about prayer then.
All right, let's do it.
Prayer as a coping mechanism. Prayer as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen throughout history, not just, in cinema, but also just in stories, so and so prayed, during these times of tribulation and trial, right? Collective prayer, people coming together, praying for a common cause. Whether the prayer actually works on some psychological level, it is soothing. We can't take that away. It's worked. It's worked. You can call it a placebo effect, but guess what? You are adapting to adversity when you're doing that. If you're meditating, if you're you set up a shrine and you're praying to the gods, you're talking to the orishas, you're talking to your ancestors, you're setting up a coping mechanism for you to deal with the strifes of life. Right. And there are other ways of doing this. We know this. There are other ways of doing this. I mean, now we're in the age of modern technology where psychology has evolved, and so we have coping strategies that are secular, right? But religion used to replace that. If there was a famine, all right, hey, take these grains, go down the river and pray to the God 77 times, right? You would just come up with something, just or a rain dance. Let me do this dance in hopes that it's going to rain.
That it's going to rain.
We're trying to interact with nature. This is what we're doing. We're faced with a problem as a species, as a collective, as a small group, and we're doing something to connect with nature in order to achieve a certain effect.
Okay.
Religion, okay? There's other ways of doing it. We can all agree to that. But religion,
Hugging the tree.
So now I got to ask, what's the difference between religion and spirituality? Because what I feel like you're describing are spiritual practices, not necessarily religious practices. Like when I think of religion, I think of something that is structured, that is led by a certain led by a book, right? Sometimes if it's got a book that corresponds to it, that means it might have a deity, or if it doesn't have a deity, it has a collective that still responds to whatever that is. Like that's what I think of as being a religion. So I think like when I feel like if you're speaking of prayer and you're speaking of communing with nature, like for me, those things, even like anything that looks or sounds like meditation, for me, it sounds like spirituality rather than religion. Because I think of religion as being structured and spirituality as being more loose and free. So let's go ahead and let's go and ask
I like that.
All right, so structure, right, with religion. However, if we're talking about practices, does one religion hold the monopoly on those practices?
And prayer, meditation, though.
I mean, what about fasting?
Can be.
What about fasting?
Can be.
All right. So it can be spiritual or religious, right?
It could be spiritual or religious.
Okay.
Fasting, yeah.
All right. What about charity?
That could be both.
Like both. That's both.
What else? Okay, alms give dietary restrictions.
Both.
That could be both as well.
Oh, okay. So, all right, so and so decides that they're gonna cut themselves off from sugar for 30 days, or they're just gonna go on a juice fast for 30 days.
It's both.
Is that religious? Oh, it's both. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about pilgrimages? You know, some sort of pilgrimage going from one location to the other. Maybe it's a desert, a forest.
Both.
It could be both.
Yeah.
I say that's more.
I was about to say, let's talk about the Hajj.
Because you know they do that walk of Christ.
Okay.
They do the walk of Christ. Go ahead.
All right. But I mean, could it be a spiritual practice though? A pilgrimage?
And I want to say yes, it's both. And the reason why I say yes is both, because sometimes you can be challenged to see how much you have centered yourself or taken control of this vessel by means of walking across hot coal.
Ooh.
All right.
You know,
Ooh.
to see if you're in tune with yourself. Can you block off your sensors? And the only way, some way they would say you'd be able to get that is through meditation.
Okay.
All right.
So we're basically saying that spirituality and religion are intertwined, and they are kind of like both of the they kind of.
Let's start with that first.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the good Oxford.
I like how you did that.
I am having a
Right? I like that. What is... Yeah, so let me see. Okay. Oh. Okay, so now what did we said, we talked about religion first, right? And it said that religion was... Did you pull that up, God level? You had that, right?
I did. I pulled it up.
Do you still have it?
As a matter of fact, I do. Yes, the belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. Ideas about, go ahead.
Okay. Spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or sense or belief that there is something greater than myself, something more to being human than sensory experience, and that the greater whole of which we are a part of is cosmic or divine in nature. I don't know. Maybe it's just because that just sounds more romantic to me. It just sounds more romantic. You know what I'm saying? I dig it.
Like a perfect dance, don't it?
Not like the jelly roll, or not like the Tootsie Roll.
All right. So should we Are we settled on a definition yet, or are we still kind of
Can I read one more from the what is this? From the NCBI,
Alrighty.
the
NCB?
National Library of Medicine, right? Okay.
For what word?
So
Religion or spirituality?
this is religion, spirituality versus religion, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what is okay? So spirituality and religion are often used interchangeably, but the
Mm-hmm.
two concepts are different. Some authors contend that spirituality involves a personal quest for meaning in life, while religion involves an organized entity with rituals and practicing focusing on a higher power or God. Now that is interesting.
Mm.
Just saying. That's and that and for me that
Send me
sounds
that.
like yes,
Send me
ma'am.
that.
I sure will. I mean, because that sounds a little bit like some of the ideas that we were getting like
Mm.
in the chat or in the group this week,
Yeah.
answering about the difference between religions and spirituality. Hmm. A personal quest for meaning in life.
Mm.
I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm
Mm.
gonna hold on that one. Y'all go ahead. Talk some much.
Go ahead. Well,
All right. So is it more of a process? I mean, can we say it's a process? Is it a commitment to something?
which one?
What spirituality?
Spirituality.
Spirituality.
For me,
Oh,
spirituality is just knowing that you are already connected to the source.
Hmm. Okay.
For religion teaches you that you have to accept. Um, you have to accept that into your life, but spirituality is already knowing that you are already connected.
Hmm.
I've never been
Okay.
cut off. My son can't go anywhere in the world and not be my son.
Come
Period.
again. Bring that back.
Religion, spirituality for me is knowing that you are already connected. Religion teaches you to accept it as if you've been cut off, like you have to reconnect. But spirituality is knowing that you are already are. My son can go anywhere in the world and not be my son. That's we're connected. He could be in Hawaii. This doesn't change anything. He's still my son. We're still connected. So it's just for me, it's the knowing that I'm connected. I don't have to
Hmm.
invite it. Just knowing that I, I'm I'm here. I'm a part of this universe.
I would like to
I
quarterback that a little bit. I want to
go ahead.
quarterback that a little bit real quick. And for me, from what I understand, religion tends to put you in a practice of worship, um, in a power that
Yeah.
you believe is there.
Hmm.
So if you can get the mind to believe that it's there, whether you can see it or not, whether it's a intangible, as long as you can get the mind to believe that it's there, there will always be hope for a brighter day ahead. Let me say that much. But with spirituality, it's finding your purpose of knowing that you are already connected to the source, and
Yeah.
that by the way of connection to the source, you
Hmm.
learn that you are part of the source. And by doing so, you'll learn that you're connected to any and everything,
Yeah.
which may require you to do some cleansing of
Say it with your
said
chest.
misunderstanding. Yeah.
Say
Said
it.
misunderstanding that you have learned from a child growing up.
Mm.
So it's still a process, and I think John was finna allude to that. It's still a process. It's not an easy process, but it's still a
Mm.
process because you're definitely trying to free the mind in spirituality and know that there are no boundaries. Because
Mm.
if you can do spirituality, if you can understand or bring yourself to a understanding that when I say everything's connected, I mean
Everything.
everything is connected. Whether it's a animate or inanimate object, or we're speaking of flesh, or we're speaking of nature, or we're speaking of animals, birds,
Mm-hmm.
fish,
Yeah.
crops, whatever we talk about, everything is connected.
Yeah.
You just have to find the connection or
Yeah.
allow yourself to reconnect. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna
Mm.
stick with that. And that's not an easy process because you have
Mm.
to do a lot of detaching
Unlearning what you've learned.
and
Reprogramming.
relearning. Yeah,
Oh, that
relearning.
soft download. I
Yeah, that
like that.
download.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
All right.
will just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna kind of posit something as it relates to spirituality, right?
Okay.
Because it's very difficult to separate them, right? But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times, what most people don't understand about religion is that there are actually two aspects to religion. There's the exoteric side, and there's
Mm.
the
Oh,
esoteric side.
Ooh.
yes,
Oh,
sir.
oh, oh,
Yes,
we know these.
sir. Yes,
Okay, we
sir.
know these words. We know these words. Okay. All
Yes,
right, cool.
sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
we know what the esoteric refers to, right? And we were just talking
Check
about
them out.
spirituality, right? We were just
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
spirituality. So,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
the thing that I wanted to kind of really touch on is that we have this very some of us have this very negative connotation about religion because of the dogma. It's the structure. It's the
Hmm.
ideas, the false beliefs, right?
Yeah,
The
the
ooh, that's
guidelines.
the part that
Yeah,
we don't like. It's the stuff
the
that's
spook.
easily accessible to all practitioners, right? But let's just say, for example, with Islam, there are different sects, sects, of Islam. In particular, Sufism is the more spiritual or the more esoteric side of Islam. There's not a lot of those, okay? There's not a lot of those.
Yeah,
But
they
I
got in
got
the
put on to
states.
that through my homegirl, Yasmin. She put me on. She was like, oh, yeah. So there's this side right here called Sufism. I was like, man, now this I can rock with. Sufism I can rock with, right? So I wanted to throw that in there because as we're trying to, kind of crystallize our definition for
Mm-hmm.
spirituality, I want to also mention that a lot of the times you have spiritual spiritual religious people who are also spiritual. They are tapped into both. So they have a
Okay.
practical side in which they express
Mm-hmm.
physically their religious or their spiritual identity, and it's somewhat commonplace. But then there's also an esoteric side that's not accessible to the public. You don't do this out in the open. These are aspects that are very personable. So this is me saying that you can do both, right?
Okay.
Just like I identify as spiritual, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
well, the technical term is more omnism, right? But the idea is I'm tapped into a spiritual aspect or an esoteric meaning the mystery, the hidden, the stuff that's behind the cloak, the
The
stuff that
veil.
is
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Every religion has that.
Yes, it does. Go
And
ahead.
so a lot of the times, those of us that are exposed to the exoteric side of the religion, we don't get access to the esoteric. And so the a lot of the questions that we would have had answered would have been on the esoteric side of things. But here it is, we're dealing with human beings that only deal with the exoteric. So you can't really get too far if they haven't.
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
transcend them because we're all students. You transcend them. It's like, oh, okay, well, you're still in fourth grade and I'm here in ninth grade. Let me teach the next generation what I wish was taught to me within this religion. And so that's how you get, and every religion has this. Every religion has scholars, commentators that reformulate the text, they reinterpret the text in different ways. Every religion has that responsibility of producing scholars that look at the text and say, hey, is this accurate? Did we get this right? Is this saying what it's supposed to? Is this verifiable? You have scholars that's supposed to do that. And so I think what happens is over time, a lot of us kind of, stray away from those scholars. And so we only deal with the exoteric side. So I just want to throw that in there. Esoteric, exoteric.
I just want to throw in there too that I think that also can deal with your cultural and where you are culturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that is because until I actually traveled with the military, I wasn't exposed to Orthodox Christianity, which is practiced in Middle Eastern countries, which almost looks like in practice, it almost looks like Islam, but yeah, and so there are different, like you just said. I mean, there are those that I'm not going to be able to pronounce. Yeah, them two words.
Yeah.
Esoteric and esoteric. Yeah, so I'm just saying. I mean, I think that's also
John. Go ahead.
So a cultural thing, right? Because if you think about it, it's like your culture is as big as your circle. Right? If it's only as big as your little circle, then that means that what are you really allowed to expand to? And I think that that's the problem that a lot of people have with organized religions is because of the fact that their culture and their circle is this big, and because of the fact that their circle and their culture is this big, and they haven't been exposed to anything bigger, and they don't know how to be exposed to anything bigger. That's where some of the more abusive practices can come in. I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah.
Well, that's great that you bring that up because just with that understanding of your circle, like John pointed out, you have probably like maybe, I don't know, 15 to 20,000 different religious practices out there. So if this is all that you know, look how much you don't know. You might find similarities in maybe 1,000 of them. Maybe like, man, this is the exact same thing that I'm doing. So
but we got a little bit of arrogance going on, right? Don't we? Because when we're in our circles and we have everyone around us affirming and reaffirming our beliefs.
That's true.
I mean, we feel confident. We start getting arrogant. Yeah. We start feeling like we know it all.
You start feeling like
right here.
You're right and everybody else is wrong.
Yeah, but it's still right here though.
Did you catch that?
Why?
Did you start to feel like you're right and everybody else is wrong?
That part.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why that is. Anybody want? No, I'm gonna shut up. Okay, that's nope. Oh no!
Who is this?
Oh, you're going mute.
He did.
He is going off too. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh my God! Who wrote that?
Oh, let's go back and see. Who that is? Who that is?
That's probably Sean. Is that Sean or what's his name?
Oh, Sean.
Oh, there go John. He back.
Okay, great.
There we go. There you go. Anybody gonna read that one out? Because that's great. That is a great. Oh, that's the brother Salt. Salt, listen, Salt.
I called him Sean. I am so sorry. I am really bad with names. I really am.
She called me Tina Turner for like a whole 3 months, so it's all good.
I'm telling you, I am so sorry. It's a chick at work. I never say her name right, and she gets. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
I like this. I like this. Yeah. Okay. The present leaders across religions and science to politics agree that a conscious, educated people are uncontrollable, yes, and are seen as a threat to their position. Yes, preach on it, man, because the biggest boom, right, to any establishment is education, is elevating education, understanding, like educated, like bringing in. Now, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
That was a really good comment, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. He should call in.
He should. Wasn't he trying to call last week?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was.
Numbers up
Perfect
there, bro.
opportunity.
John, I'm not gonna throw him up under the bus like that. Yeah, Saul, call in, and we apologize for the quick hang up last week. It was time for us to go. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
we
time
good
for
here
for an
now,
hour and
chicken
a
brother.
meat.
half, Saul.
It's time to
Yeah,
go,
you
Saul.
here
But
now.
but you're
Yeah, we
here
here
now.
now.
Let's go.
That's what John said. We here now.
Mhm.
Come
We
on,
here
man.
now.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
We
let's
would
go
love
ahead
to
and
hear
talk about
from you.
that. I love that right there. Our education is limited purposefully.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
definitely.
Purposefully.
Yeah.
Nobody, you know, something I think about, like,
Definitely.
yeah, even the education in the educational system is like, even just dealing with our kids and everything.
Hmm.
Um, we're not taught to critically think.
No.
We're not taught. We're taught what to think instead of how to critically think.
Well,
I-
yeah, certain ones. Like,
Yeah,
so
I'm
we
just
didn't
saying.
get a chance to really cover certain schools. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there
That's
are, yeah.
true.
Because yeah.
See,
All education ain't the
the
same.
more we dig into this, guys, check me out. The more we dig into this, the more you're gonna find out.
Mm,
The circle.
You're gonna
mm,
find out more and more about the circle, your circumference of what you know.
mm-hmm.
But you realize so much of what you don't know. So every time we bring up certain issue, John does bring us back to understand. Hey, this is where we at though. It's so much more outside of this.
Hmm.
It is.
It's so much
It
more
is.
outside of this. So we can only speak from this standpoint
Oh
right now.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
What keeps
bigger
us
than
in that?
what it say.
What
It's bigger than Nino, baby.
what keeps us inside of the circle? King Newborn.
Ego,
What keep?
Mm.
ego.
Woo! Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Is it
My
just ego
brother just
though?
said it. Oh hell yeah! It's a big thing of ego.
Mm.
Is it just ego though?
It's a
You think it's just
big.
ego?
It's a big thing of ego. You get a sense of pride of thinking I know more than the
Majority.
other, and this is because
We
of
said
this and
that. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Strength in numbers. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah.
Strength in
Everybody
numbers.
around confirming what you believe. Yeah. Affirming. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
What's
And let's
what's the
Yeah.
also
saying? If I can get two or more to gather in my name,
Mm.
there it is. But
now you
also,
feel like you're empowered. Like,
let's
hold
go
on, I
ahead
got
and
backup. So and
let's
so
add fear
said.
to that.
So it's got to be real, cause I ain't the only one that's saying the same. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Let's also add to ego. Let's also add fear. And
Yeah.
I guess that could be, you know what I'm saying? I mean, ego can be fear based. Yeah. Your ego
Yeah.
can get bigger by fear. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you,
But
Renee,
I'm
for
just
your
saying, let's,
comment.
yeah, when you believe all you need to know, man, come on, bro. And, and not only just the ego, and not only the fact that people are like, okay, well, if I got my backup, if I got my crew back here backing me up, right? Let's also talk about how no, like a lot of people are not able to handle the opinions of somebody else and be
Hmm.
okay with them. You know what I'm
I
No.
wanna
saying?
I wanna
No.
add to what
No.
the lady
I
that
I
comment
won't. Oh.
to know
Verjai.
all that you
Yeah.
know, to know all that you know and feel like that's all to know. That's
Mm.
very, 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 very dangerous.
It
Oh
is.
my
Very
goodness, yes, it
dangerous.
is.
It
You know
Yeah,
how
it
is.
many
is.
families break up because of that?
Mm.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
Because when they say when you know better, you do better, right? But you can't
Right.
do better if you're not willing to know better.
you can do
Echo
better.
Yeah.
chamber.
Just don't bring
Right.
that. Oh, watch out now. He just said it.
Echo chamber.
Oh my goodness. And that, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go on mute because
Yeah.
my hamsters are
Ooh.
running.
Go, Miss
Ooh.
Renee.
Mm-hmm. Up, up,
Damn.
up.
This is
Mm-hmm.
God level. Who am I speaking with?
This is Saul Vasquez.
I saw.
Peace, brother. Peace. Thanks for calling
Hey.
in.
How you doing this evening?
Excellent. I have a huge lag, so I'm like, my timing is way behind you guys. Sorry.
And yeah, it's okay. Put us on mute in the background because I can hear it.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Go. You've been
Okay.
dropping bars after bars after bars after bars after bars.
In fact,
For
let's
2 weeks.
let's bring up his post.
I
Let's
know
bring it up.
John's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Love what you guys do. I mean, it's really things that you guys bring up. Obviously, not a lot of people have the tolerance, the patience. This is real deep content that hopefully more people gravitate and open their minds to have that level of tolerance. But I mean, kudos to you guys, because it takes a lot to really buckle down, put your ego aside, and have that appreciation for higher learning. But yeah, just to piggyback on what Johnson mentioned earlier, I'm not too familiar with the esoteric, just that they're sort of like ways of thinking. But I do understand that there's a lack of encouragement or lack of access in many regions, in many upbringings where people just grow up knowing they're only scratching the surface of life. They're only, living by the flesh and not understanding how they truly operate. What real love and respect and honor, all those good basic principles and fundamentals really come into play, or how they play a part in our lives and how important they are. And then if they don't have the discipline and so on. So I mean, there's plenty of routes to go about it. But I guess I want to close out with that similar to what I think John was kind of getting to, was that we're responsible. Yeah, some places have better education than others, but at the end of the day, there comes a point in life that we need to buckle down. We need to shed our old skin, die to self, as the Bible says, and put ourselves around the people who do have that knowledge, the books that do have that knowledge, and immerse ourselves. Because I mean, otherwise we're just waiting to die. We're not really living.
What?
So I don't know.
What?
I just want to let me just say this. He said books.
Yeah, with an S.
You would have asked.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you, Saul, for calling in. And
Hey,
sorry
Saul, do
about
you have a
that.
religious affiliation? Saul, do you have a religious affiliation?
I can't say that I do. I've been raised mostly under Christianity and Catholicism and Jehovah's Witness, but I've touched upon Judaism, Buddhism, Scientology, or all kinds of different. Even I actually sat down in a satanic church, believe it or not, once upon a time.
What was that like?
It was very eerie. It was very quiet. I believe it was one of the Scientology places that I encountered downtown Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
I live in New York, but I mean, it seemed very satanic. You had people like red hoods. It didn't seem anything Christian-like or God-like. It was more like it was just very weird.
Okay.
But I feel like they all, the majority of religions that are God-inspired have good intent. I think if you guys have pointed out that if you don't have a good experience in one place, then it doesn't mean that all of them, all places or all people are, going to let you. I'm going to drop the ball on you. There's love out there. There's people who actually care and want to share with you, want you to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not an easy area of life to talk about or bring up, because it's all about the ego. It's all about who could, make a name for themselves, or who could take the bigger risk, or who could be the bigger man, or who has the sexier butt, and this and the third. And it's like, at the end of the day, none of those things really fulfill us. And
right.
Say this.
We gotta get down to business. We gotta make it fun too. Like a lot of things about religion is that it's not really enjoyable for the most part. There comes when I go to church and I feel the vibe, whether it's through the singing or the sermon, I shed a tear. I smile. I rejoice. I might reflect on some of my losses. And ask for forgiveness and humble myself and open my ears and so on.
Connecting.
That's pretty much Yeah, that's it. I mean, I do emphasize one thing when I do study or go anywhere is that I'm always looking for God, and what that means is I forgot which verse it is, but it mentions about discernment, and it talks about discerning what is good and what is perfect. And when you're able to discern what is good and what is perfect, you know what God is, and you're constantly learning about God. You're reaching towards God, and as you're reaching towards God, you learn more and learn more, and there's never, there's an infinite, you know, line of work for you, a responsibility for you. More power, you got more responsibility, yeah, but I mean, I'd rather have the curse and the blessing than just the curse. So I mean, I see it as yeah.
Hey, Saul. So let me ask you this: Do you think it requires a certain level of trust to I guess find that you were speaking of? Is finding God, finding the light, finding the truth. Do you think that requires a certain level of trust in oneself?
So bad. I gotta say something.
Oneself or others, or
just for yourself, just trusting yourself.
Okay. See, this is the thing. Everybody has a different degree of consciousness and level of comprehension, whether that be, through listening to a conversation or reading. So it's hard to say what level of trust people have for themselves. But of course, I think that's definitely an attribute. You have to have a sense of self-awareness, knowing that, hey, you know what, I'm capable of, learning this and being humble enough at the same time to be, I like the new word that I like to jump on is plasticity, being trainable, being open, being adaptable. Because if you're rigid, if you're just like stuck,
fixed,
then you're not truly trusting yourself. You're faking that trust. You're like just putting up a mask or a facade, and it's about. So one of the things about science that I really like is that in science you always have to consider maybe you're wrong.
Yep. Hypotheses.
Come on, man.
Hypotheses. Let's go. Let's go.
And I just feel like with that approach of humility, that allows you to be mad plastic. Like you're able to live vicariously through someone with true empathy, not just yesing somebody to death or just giving your advice because you want to be heard, but you're actually taking the case scenario and giving the heart to heart. I mean, again, this is not easy to talk about, so I might lose track here and there. But
it's okay.
Saul, I want to say this to you, my brother. This is something I always say to my sister. We had conversations about this. I want to break down that last little few sentences that you said, which is when you ever in a conversation, you transmit and you receive, and you receive and you transmit. With that being said, to be humble in that conversation, you have to bring yourself to a state of discernment to say, hey, in this conversation, I understand that just because you understand something differently than me, and I understand something differently than you, this does not mean that you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right or you're wrong.
There you go. Yeah. Say word.
That means that let's agree to agree. Because if I agree to disagree, that means that, hey, I don't even care what you're talking about. Now I'm back to the ego again. That's not being humble.
Oh, I love that.
So let's bring it back to this circle again. Like I said.
Oh, why you always using me as an example?
See, all I know is in this circle. It's so much more outside of this circle that I'm willing to learn. So if I apply empathy to the next person that's expressing something to me based on what they know, ain't no telling how much more I'm going to learn outside of this circle.
There you go.
There you go. Yes. Tell it. I'm so glad I got to hear that point.
If I could just compliment what you said, the Bible mentions something about only God being righteous, only God being good. And so for us to assume that we're right, like the absolute sense of right, or we're good, it's kind of like, I mean, it's buffoonery. It's kind of childish because, you know, knowledge is infinite. And so we get to plateaus of understandings. And so that discernment that you speak of, that empathy that you speak of, it's letting go of the ego. It's taking a much different approach. Like this world is very contaminated with the ego of, you know, always one-upping somebody, or your success having to be at the expense of someone else. And in the contrary, there's always the possibility of a win-win situation. Hands down, no question about it.
Come on, man. Come on.
When we say we're right or wrong, be wary of those type of people. The people who actually are ready to bring you some light, are willing to accept that, hey, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not 100%, but this is what I know, and let me share this with you.
There you go.
I like that.
Let me just share this. Yeah, let me just share. Yeah, that right there. I'm just trying to share this. Oh, okay. Because if you get 10 of us to share just this as a collective, how much knowledge you think? Never mind. I ain't okay. Sound like that song Queen Latifah. Unity.
I can't. Did he just go to the 90s? I can't.
Come on, man. Unity, man.
So I want to thank you for calling in. I mean, and again, we apologize for last week at the end of the show, but this was right on time. Thank you so much.
That was beautiful.
For sharing your POV. We really appreciate that. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, keep calling in, bro. Yeah, keep calling in, bro.
Yeah, keep calling in.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you kindly. No, what you guys do, not a lot of people doing. So you gotta, you know, give credit where it's due, and you know, like the only thing I can say is like power forward, like, because life is going to bring a lot of stress, and there's going to be a lot of doubt and questions. But what you guys are doing, you got to charge yourself every day. I'm sure there's a level of tolerance that you deal with your real life that maybe you don't want to spend time here, you know, speaking about such complexity. And but this is where it's at. So I really applaud you guys as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Actually enjoy this.
That's so beautiful, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's part of the reason to be of service. That's the purpose of God level. What we be saying? Things that people don't want to talk about.
That's the name of the show. Yeah.
Miss Tanner, what's the mission statement? Miss Tanner, what's the mission statement?
Giving back that which was lost.
That part.
Come on, man.
That's it.
Come on, man.
That's it. Saul, thank you again for calling in. And keep calling. Keep dropping that knowledge.
Yeah.
Bars.
He be in the comments section heavy now. He be in the comments section.
Where's my bar sign? Where's my bar sign? I need to make my bar sign up, man.
But let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. This one right here. I've been itching to see the responses on this one. Right. This is all hypothetical. This is all hypothetical. Okay. Hypothetical.
I think so. I'm back, y'all. I think so. I think and that's only because I was introduced to so many and it gave me an option to decide what I wanted to do as I became an adult. But I definitely think that they should be exposed to different, because who knows what's right? You only know what's right for you. And the more, like you said, this is all I know. The more that I gain, the more that I know what's comfortable for me. So yeah, I definitely think that children should be exposed to different religions and different ways of life and different culture. We're just two boxed in. We're two boxed in on everything that we do.
Yeah.
You know, John pointed out last week, you know, that soft upload, let's really understand we are all walking computers. So how much information are we uploading on a consistent basis?
Right.
How much misinformation was uploaded in us through or by the way of somebody else's trauma from our childhood on up?
Man.
You know, so by by the way of right for the child, so that way they can themselves understand love, humility, discernment. Why not expose them early on? Some cultures do it. Why don't we? You know, most of the time we, hey, this grown folk business. Go sit down. Just do what I say.
Right.
That's it. Do what I say, not as I do.
Right.
Yeah. So how much are we pouring into our children to make sure they are properly equipped to prepare themselves for a world that be much different than our era as children?
Mm.
Now, with that right there, and in reference to the question, I want to highlight a very heavy consideration. Um, let's look at the history here. All right. We are in an age where our exposure to different cultures,
Ooh.
different religions, this is
Ooh.
happening now. Okay.
Right.
This is a
Yeah.
new thing for all of us as a
Right.
species. So, I mean, just 200 years ago, you grew up in a town where there was probably one religion and you didn't even know about
Facts.
the rest of them.
Eh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Facts.
Bars,
Just let's do 200 years ago.
bars,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
200 years ago. All right. So,
round the corner.
at this level, right? We plug in the internet, we got phones, we got tracking devices, GPS, yada yada. We're
Yeah.
connected, right? So here we are. We're the first way to experience this level of exposure, right? And
Right.
I'm posing this setup because this question right here was already answered for, let's say, the past 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 years. The question's already been answered. Should children be exposed to several religions before committing to one? The answer was no. You're going to commit to this one because you're in this society.
Right.
Absolutely.
And this ain't no democracy. We got a king up here and we got a queen up here.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Now, unless you're talking about empires, because empires are now those are that's America, right? That's empire
Ooh,
level,
who is
okay?
this? Who is
Because
this?
empires have the nucleus, right? They have the nuclear family, and that nuclear family was the one that was conquering all the lands, and then they're like, okay, cool, now you're a colony, and you're a colony, and you're a colony, and yeah, you all can practice your religion. You know what? We might dabble in. That's an empire. Now, we had a few of those, right? We had a few of those throughout history, but we are in a time where this question, well, the one before it, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
one was already answered. So I'm just asking going forward, for a lot of us, we're going to have to face this question as parents, maybe even as grandparents. We're going to have to help our children deal with this question because the exposure to information is just increasing.
Yeah.
Different ways of getting the information, right? And
Yeah.
so just maybe one more generation down and you can do a download for a child. They're getting smarter faster, right? Maybe not
Oh,
wiser
Man,
faster, maybe not wiser faster,
man.
but they're getting smarter faster.
they are. They're able to consume like lots of information that
Yeah.
wasn't out there. So so the question is, it if before we even start to answer this question, the question is, are we going to be able to let go of ourselves and and let our kids feel autonomous as people in order to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like in order for our kids to be their own standalone person. Because remember,
You gonna
like
get
we
us
still
shut
have,
down.
bro,
Get us shut
listen for
down before we
real,
even get
because
started.
Y'all,
the thing
y'all
is,
that.
okay, wait. To the question that the young lady mentioned, how do we know what is right for us? Discernment shows what is good and perfect and thus right. From the book Conversations with God, God is answering
Oh,
Neil's question. How do I know if it is God? And God says, mine is highest thought, your clearest world, your grandest feeling. Anything
mm,
less is from another source. Your
mm.
highest thought is always that thought that contains joy. The
Joy.
clearest words are those which contain truth. Oh wow, I gotta finish
The
this. Hold on, wait.
greatest. Mm.
Grandest. Did I say? What did I say? That
Greatest.
was
Your
that
father.
was Saul.
Oh,
That was Saul,
oh,
man. Yeah, the grandest feeling is that feeling what you call love.
man, that's the homie, man. He read like, have y'all read that book, Conversations with God?
Haven't.
No.
Mm-mm.
Well, okay, fair warning to our audience members. I know I just made a recommendation. All right. please, proceed at your own risk. It's a great book, but if you're already seated in your religion, just go ahead, leave it alone.
It
It
asks
falls in the
questions.
category. It falls in the category of New Age. Okay, and that in and of itself is sort of a religion, New Age. So
Oh
conversations
man.
with God. Now Saul he dropped the Bible, Catholicism, New Age.
I
You
mean,
see
we've
what's
talked
going
about
on here?
we've
We
talked about a little bit
dabbling.
of everything on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
We
brought up
dabbling.
Taoism,
Yeah.
you brought up Satanism, you brought up Buddhism.
Islam.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like a lot, man. There's been a and look, I agree with this is my girl Jaja, right? She says parents have to put themselves in the position of understanding versus ruling.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
that right there. That comes with come on, man. That comes with a level of understanding that some people just haven't been able to get to yet, man.
Mm.
You know
Because
why?
literally,
You know why?
We're in. I forget what it's called.
You know why?
Authoritative parents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
authoritarian parents. Yeah, authoritarian.
authoritarian parents. Yeah, that's what most of them are.
yeah. I mean, it's
Do
do
as
as I
I
say,
say, not
and
as I
that's it.
do. Yeah.
And that's it. And the thing is that people as parents, man, we've got to expand our minds so that our
Mhm.
kids are not inside of this little
Little
circle.
box.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Right.
that
The
so the
little.
You can't
circle
stop
gets
learning.
bigger,
You can't stop learning. Like
You
Saul
can't.
said, knowledge is infinite.
man.
I'm glad he said that, and I'm glad he said books.
Yeah, you got to
It's
keep
more than
reading,
one.
man.
You gotta open up more than just one book.
Right.
I just
Hey,
want
shout out to Saul and New York. Peace to the gods and the earths of New York.
There you go.
yeah, because that's love. It's all connected.
Yeah.
All connected. So true. I just want to point. Can I point out three things that man said that just got me like, "Whoop," my hamsters were on the track, right? He says we are responsible to die to self. We are
You said
responsible to
that.
die to self.
You said that about a month ago, about a month and a half ago. You
Are we
said
willing
that.
to die to self? Are we
Ego.
willing?
Kill that
And
ego.
my other sign, ego, easing God out.
Mm.
That's what they tell us in our 12 step. That's what they tell us. It's easing being connected to something, being connected to people, being connected to yourself, being connected. Oh, if we really think about it, if love is connection, connection is God. I can't. I'm putting myself on mute. I'm going because my hamsters are rolling. They are rolling.
Honey, you are rolling. You, King Newborn,
Yeah, that
Master.
man,
You can
Skywalker.
just call me Master. Yeah. Y'all, I'm learning.
Man, okay. It's
I
almost
wanna
oh,
I'm scared.
it's almost like they gotta let go of the idea that they finally made it to the adult status that gets to rule over these people smaller than them and adopt the idea that littles need guidance and support. Can we talk about how we got all these people who are walking around in these adult bodies, but they haven't progressed past 11 yet?
There you go.
Look at the homes that they've been raised in.
Yeah, you're gonna get us
Right. They
canceled again.
Narcissism, right?
Well, it's not even so much as just narcissism, just like an overabundance of ego. Like if you can't tolerate other people's opinions, right? If you
Right.
can't tolerate them, I get it. You got your things that you believe in. Everybody's got to have something to believe in, right? But if you
Mhm.
can't tolerate what somebody else believes in, if you can't tolerate hearing a different opinion, if you can't tolerate understanding for the sake of understanding because that's another human being who you want to connect with, or that's something that you want to connect to. You want to understand nature. You want to understand God in 6 languages. You want to understand why are people walking upright instead of on all fours. If you can't handle another, that it eases everything else out. It literally crowds everything else out. That means love for your kids is included in that. If you can't challenge yourself, if you can't challenge your own thoughts, I'm gonna shut up. I'm putting myself back.
She has been putting herself on mute all night.
Right.
Literally.
Well, hey,
Yeah, you gotta
let's
have a
keep it
level
rolling.
of
Let's keep it
Okay,
rolling.
go ahead.
Let's get to the top. That question right there: can religions work without your faith in them?
Facts. Facts.
Will it work if you don't have
Facts.
faith in it?
Yeah,
No.
it'll work. I'm gonna tell you how.
Oh,
They got a thing called blind faith. How many of y'all jump in y'all car and start it up?
I'm gonna start
Huh?
taking a you word.
Huh?
I'm gonna start going mute too, like Ivy. This
but isn't that
Don't
still faith
understand.
though?
oh my
I
God.
said blind faith. You just assume that it's gonna work.
Blind faith. Yeah.
I mean,
and
hey,
you,
faith, hey,
and
look,
you do. You
it
jump
can
in that
be
car and you started and you going about your biz. Yeah, you
blind
do.
faith is still faith. Okay,
Okay,
blind
I
faith
give you
is
that.
still
I was gonna
faith.
say,
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask again: can religions work without your faith in them? So
I
all
don't
right, you
believe
get.
so.
Somebody
Mm,
said blind faith doesn't mean that you don't have faith.
yeah,
I
there
don't
you go.
believe
Yeah.
it can because what's the purpose of it? If you don't believe in
Mm.
it, then isn't belief a little bit like faith?
Mm.
Because I mean, we talk about belief systems of belief.
Right.
So I mean, obviously, it's powered by faith.
Yeah. So
You
I
gotta
don't.
believe it.
Yeah. So I don't think that it can work. Nobody. Why would I pay attention to something that I don't believe in or I don't have any faith in? Why
Mm.
would I?
Let
I
me
mean, what
Mm.
use is it to me to go in every Sunday or every Saturday mass or whatever people
or
believe
whatever
or whatever
day.
people congregate? What use is it for me to go listen to something if I don't believe in it?
Mm.
Because people believe in rituals.
I was just finna say you go openly blinded into so many rituals on a day-to-day practice just off of a ritualistic practice. You just think that it's just supposed to happen. Not no faith in it, not no belief in it. You just automatic. Oh, this is supposed to happen. Why you know? He said so. She said so. It's supposed to happen. Cause
But
somebody
that's because
told
I
me.
believe what they told me.
Mm.
But do you
You know,
really
that's
though?
why we got so many
Yeah, I'm not gonna
so much
say you.
ignorance
Nah.
around because people believe what other people. I'm sorry, but that's why we have so much ignorance. Is because people will believe. Uh, don't go to New York because if you go to New York, then you might get jumped on, you might get stabbed. Well, you can go anywhere and believe that, and I just know that from being in a small town that everybody has these tall tales about what's going on, and you believe it. And I'm looking like I've been there, and that don't happen. But they believe it wholeheartedly because whoever the source was that told them.
Mm.
I like them better than you. I know them more than you, or I've been knowing them longer than you. Why would they lie to me?
So that means that you're saying
So
that people are placing other people as higher powers. They're placing other people as gods, and they're placing their own words and like another person's will. Ooh, girl, that's like a whole
But
entire different.
ain't that what they do with the preachers?
I was just thinking
Some
that's what
people
they do
do.
in
I mean,
church.
you just said exactly what they do to with the preachers
Yeah. They
because
put
he
them on
said
that
so.
pedestal. Yeah.
right. So
So
let
that
me let
ain't.
me let me let
Go
me
ahead.
add wisdom to this again. I want to add wisdom to this again. I'm still gonna. I personally, my understanding, my understanding. I want to say no to belief, but we tend to trust out the gate. That's different than believing. You just automatically trust. Like you just said, Miss AP. Somebody can say, "Hey, don't go over there because such. All right, cool. Thanks for the tip."
Okay,
I'm just saying, we quick to trust a lot of people and a lot of things to be what they are,
they
without
place
even
their
having
faith
them to
in.
show and prove.
That's Renee. Oh, I love her.
Um,
I
But I
love
think
her.
kind of don't all those words kind of go together: faith, trust, and belief.
Well, belief is the seed. It's the crystallization, right?
Okay.
Faith is like the wave. It's the energy, right? Faith becomes belief, but belief doesn't become faith.
Okay.
Right? One is crystallized. The other one, I want you to think more like a energy, like it's a flowing energy. And so when you put your faith in something, it's like you're the plug giving life, animating this thing.
Who?
Gandhi just said, there is also a knowing which is different than belief. I kind of
Yeah.
like that.
That's what I'm
I
Yeah.
saying.
kind of like that.
Good evening, mother. Good evening, mother. In Gandhi, thank you. Thank you for watching tonight.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
Knowing is
my
different than belief.
moly. Yeah. Belief, yeah.
But is that when
Defaulting
ego
to
comes in because
mistrust.
you know and maybe you don't know because you think you know?
Well, maybe the knowing is a trust. Maybe the knowing is the trust that you have in yourself of discernment, right?
I have that. I will say that that
Okay.
could be true because I definitely know what I know when I know it,
Mm, that
and it
part.
comes from discernment. Yeah,
Okay.
so I could get with that.
Mm,
Or it could come
Well,
okay.
what
from
about
your ritualistic
experience? What about
practice. I
experience?
was just finna say your practice, so you experienced in it. So you already know this to be right and exact. So therefore you just go off of that. Like you said, your
Yeah,
experience.
Experience.
You already went
Yes, you
down that
said
that
it.
too.
pipeline. You know what's down there.
The
Right, that
knowing
too.
is intuitive. Yeah.
The knowing is intuitive.
Hmm.
Can we go back? Can we bring that question back up that because you said, can religions work without your
Without
faith
your
in them?
faith in them. No.
I want to go to the word work,
Mm-hmm.
right? What do you mean by work? You know, I mean, because
Operate. Can they operate?
okay, but
Function.
can they,
Move.
can a
Without
religion
your
move without your
faith.
faith in them? Can they move in the individual, or can they move as in the collective?
Collective.
Because so you're saying that if everybody just disbelieves as of this point right now that such and such a religion just doesn't operate, right? Like nobody believes in it anymore.
Not believe
So
faith, have
hit.
faith in it.
All right.
Without
All right.
faith.
All right.
So look, do it from a cultural sense.
Okay, give it to
Half
me.
of the things are just half of the things from a cultural sense is just passed down and you doing ritualistically. We're not talking
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
no secular religion. I mean, we're not going into any churches. We're not
Mm-hmm.
saying that this is different. No, we're just saying this is information that's passed down, and you do it ritualistically over and over and over and over and over and over. This is where I'm saying you don't have to have faith in order for that to work. You're being shown that if you do this, this is be the fruit of that.
Mm. But isn't that isn't that but is that really like something that's I wouldn't think that if you have an experience and you're doing something that's over and over again, right? That experience works, not necessarily something that is like something as abstract as religion. Does that make
Yeah, I understand what you're
We
saying.
still
do
talking
you
about a
understand?
rich. We still talking about a practice. Let's.
Okay,
I'm gonna break it down a little bit smaller.
give it to me.
If you take a seed, put it in the ground, put water on it, and you've never seen a seed grow.
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen a seed grow. But someone
Hmm.
told you, hey, look, take this seed, plant it in the ground, water it a little bit, leave it alone, and it does its thing from that point. Do you need faith to know that that seed is going to grow?
Oof. You're
If
you're
you haven't seen it
trusting
grow,
what that other person
you are
told
trusting,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, you're trusting what that other person told you to be true.
And that's not intuitive. That's not a knowing, and that's different than a belief.
That's a no. That is you're
That is
you're
believing what they
believing.
just told
That's
you.
believing.
You are believing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We just gotta break down believing and faith because it just is such a similar definition.
Yeah.
John broke
Like
it down already.
faith,
Yeah, the
Belief.
but
belief is in an idea. All right, it's
Yeah.
just an idea, and I really want us to focus on idea and belief, right? Because it's very neutral. An idea can be true or false. It can be real
Mm.
or imagined. So we are
Oh,
dealing with something virtual, okay? This is what I'm trying to get us to really examine. What is the value of your faith when it comes to these beliefs?
what is the value of your
Value.
idea? What is the value of that idea to you?
There are people that there are several Christians, right?
Hmm.
Does everyone believe the exact same way?
no.
Mm-mm.
No. How is that possible though? Everybody has the choice, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
It's
we
based
talked
off of their
about.
experience.
Hold on, I'm listening.
All right, we got personal
Oh,
experiences.
shit.
This is all supposed to be personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we talk about personal accountability. You inherit this belief system, right? You inherit it. Someone gave it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could say it coerced. We could use that word too. But someone gave it to you. You accepted it. By accepting it,
Yeah.
you also accept responsibility for it. We're
Mm.
talking about
Facts.
it. You're supposed to verify that. And so what
Facts.
we do as a culture, we forget that part. We
It don't.
forget the part of personal responsibility and properly representing the religion. If the religion is faulty, you're supposed to correct it.
Right.
If you feel like it's beyond repair, you discard it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Now let
this
me
thing
ask you.
go. Oh, go ahead.
Now let me ask you this: did we even have the idea of personal accountability and responsibility when it comes to religion in the first place? Were we ever given that
Not in this
culturally?
framework. Not
No.
in this framework.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's surface level. No one is
Mhm.
telling the other practitioners, "Hey, you have a responsibility for these beliefs." No one's saying that because that's metacognition. You're thinking bigger than the religion now. We're not thinking like that. We are in the religion. We're not thinking,
Mhm.
"Oh, this is just this is a part of me. This is a tool." We're not thinking that big. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
As a culture, for some of us, we did not look at it that way.
Mm-mm.
Personally speaking, I came up as Christian, but
Mhm.
I had a brain and I used it, right? I believed, but I also tested, verified, experienced, and the stuff that I didn't like, I put it to the side and said, no. Now, I'm mentioning this aspect right here because I know that a lot of us have this negative relationship with religion. We're like, I'm done with it, right? I don't like that experience, even though it gave you some good ones, right? So this is like a bad breakup,
Mhm.
and we ain't
Okay.
made peace with it yet. And so
Okay.
here we are. This is why we bash religion, right? Because we're still hurt. I still love you. I still
Right.
love you.
Toxic
Because
relationship.
We in a
yeah.
toxic.
Because why else are you
Oh
spewing that
man.
hate? What that
Mhm.
religion did to you? You done with the
Right.
religion, remember? You
Right.
done.
So why are you
Wh-
so upset?
Why are you still upset?
Yep.
You upset at the Christians being Christians. You upset at the Jainists being Jainists. You're upset at the Mormons being Mormons. Like, hey, you're not that anymore, remember?
Right.
So why
So
are you
that's
still
why you.
attached?
Yeah, that's
You,
why you take what resonates and you leave. You should be able to take what resonates and leave the rest behind. That's if we were in a perfect world, everyone would be able to do that. But it's so many
I,
people that hold on to all the issues that they've had in these different religions that they can't even get what they're supposed to get out of it. There's things past those issues.
can I? Okay. All right. So okay. Let's. Let me explain the reason why I think there's so many people in our culture are, as you guys call it, church hurt, right? As
Mhm.
somebody who came through that, and I love what Ngandi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. What Ngandi says. She says religion is bred out of culture. Metacognition is beyond cognition, beyond the thought, right?
Mhm.
Let's talk about how many people in our culture, culturally, and when we talk about a culture, we're talking about surrounding culture, right? Who are basically like you've got one person, you've got the two people who are raising you. They're telling you that this is your culture, this is your religion, right? You got the people who are next to them telling you this is your culture, this is your religion. You have the people who are next to them telling them this is your culture, this is your religion. Like, as in, you have like compounds like in Utah, you've got Mormonism, like people who are saying you've got to wear these long skirts, your hair in a bun, you got to have 14 kids, right? And because of the fact that there was nothing else that was allowed to come in, even if they were thinkers, they were indoctrinated. So that means that anytime they tried to have an outside thought, all of their culture,
Blasphemy.
all of everything was telling them, no, you cannot have this thought. This thought
Mm.
is sin. Your thought is sin. Your very thought, your very questioning, your very mind, the essence of your being, the ideas that you have as a person is blasphemy. It's a sin. So then when
Missing
people
the mark.
thank you. So then you learn this for 20 something, 30 something, man. Let's even keep it a buck, 40 something years, right? And then you finally have a thought that penetrates through that and you're like, nope, this is dumb, right? And then you finally get all the other cognition, you learn all the other things. You get those questions that you had asked, the ones that you believe that were blasphemous, that are sinful. Like they actually penetrate through and they break through that fantasy that you had lived in for 20 something, 30 something, 40 something years. Once you have a break in reality from what it is that you feel that you are, your entire essence and being, that'll break some people up to the point where they want to kill themselves. If you've ever had an existential crisis, like your whole entire being is being questioned, you're questioning your own shit, like all of it. That shit will drive you mad. And that's the reason why let me speak for myself. That's the reason why. And it's not that I have issues with the church. I have issues with the culture, people around the church, because I was indoctrinated. And when I finally woke up enough, I was like, oh, this is not serving. This is not cool. And it was everything that I thought that I was. And that hurt for a long time because nobody in my culture gave me autonomy to be myself. I'm not still hurt anymore because I recognize that those people did what they did because of their own egos. I recognize that you have people who are in the church who are egoic. That's not what God is. That's not what higher power is. That's not what synergy with the universe is. That's not what love is. That's not what compassion is. So I don't feel that hurt anymore, but I'm just saying that's how people are still in fear, and they're hurt. That's the reason why people are still hurt. I'm sorry, I ran for about 2 seconds. I'm gonna throw it out.
We keep talking about religion, and then we talk about the church hurt, but I think it's the people in the religion that hurt you, not the religion itself.
Yeah, religion is not bad. Everyone in church is not there for the right reasons. Usually when a person has gotten hurt in church has been by a person misusing religion.
Ooh. There you go.
That's it.
Who wrote
That's
that?
It. That was Love Shine. Oh, we love Love Shine. Love Shine.
And then that goes back to the control that you guys were talking about, because a lot of people use that religion, or use not that religion, but use religion to control people. That's why you have so many different branches, because this is the way we're going to run our set of people. This is the way we're going to run our set of people. No, we're going to tell them this. No, we're going to tell them that. Mormons, we're going to have 14 kids. Muslims, we're going to pray every day to the east, or I'm not sure how that works, but all of these different things that everybody says, this is what we're going to have you do. This is because this is what I think is right. But religion itself, is it a bad thing? Is religion the problem, or is it the people?
It's the same thing that happens when you have parenting that's egoic. Egoic parents and parents who can't get out of their own ego harm their child. They harm their children because they're trying to control the children instead of raise them in a way that's nurturing. So it's all about ego. You understand what I'm saying? And when you are 6 and 7 and you have these people with these egos who are trying to control, but you are an innocent bystander in all of that stuff because you're being indoctrinated by these people who are just trying to control. You don't know anything else. You know what I'm saying? So if you've got all of these adults who can't get out of their own ego to see what to do better for you as a child, you grow up just like that, unwittingly and unknowingly, and that's how you get hurt. Does that make any sense?
And those parents are doing exactly what they've been shown.
Sure. I was gonna say, and it's passed on. Yeah,
when you look back, my mother went to church because my grandmother exposed her to church, and her mother exposed her to church, and so on and so forth. That's it. It's learned. It's just passed down. This is just what
it is.
We do. We go to church. Okay, we have questions. We don't ask questions. You just go.
You don't question God. You don't question faith. You don't question. Your arms are too short to box with God.
No.
Newborn.
The one thing you
said, newborn, because
all in God's plan. And please stop saying that. Really, just.
I'm gonna go back on mute.
We're gonna talk about that another day.
Yeah, I want to get to this question here. The other question is the church or religion for validation of beliefs or strengthening understanding and learning more? What is your agenda? That was a mouthful right there.
That was a bar.
I think the people that present religion, I think they think, even if they're not, I think that they think they are doing a service. I don't think that there are some malicious people out there that do hateful things. I'm not going to deny that. But I think the majority of the people that have gotten into religion and passing it down and preaching the religion feel that they are doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
They are morally providing. They're providing this I guess standard that they believe in and that they think is right. Now, is it right? I don't know. I believe the interpretation and the presentation can always be wrong. There's, that if somebody's telling me something, and I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran. If you are telling me something, my interpretation may not be the same interpretation as someone else's. So I think you just got to be careful when you're talking about religion, because the people that present it are going by their standards sometimes, or the standard that has been taught to them that may not always be right.
Yeah. Religion doesn't apply clearly in the world. Living by the flesh makes a lot more sense in most cases to the untrained heart and mind. Who wrote that?
I do not know who wrote that.
I don't know. That just says I just see user on my end.
Wow.
Who that is? Got the name. Say something.
My God.
This has been a great conversation, you guys.
Oh, yeah, I was on fire tonight. It's coming up on 8. It was 8:35. We usually shut down at 8:30. This was part 2 of what does religion mean in the Black community. We've learned a lot, and we have not exposed our children to different cultures, and we should. We definitely should, and we definitely should open up and be more understanding if they choose to go a different route.
Yeah, I think we're getting better with that, because I see a lot of people being open to certain things that we never were open to with our children. So I think religion would be just the same. We are a lot more open to our kids' sexuality. So I don't see religion being a problem when, because that was a big issue.
That was a big to do.
So I feel like that kids will be able to find their way, but I just question, will they be able to find their way when it's a lot of adults that don't even have a way themselves? And I know that's a whole nother conversation.
Come on, because
you just don't drop something like that right at the end.
I'm sorry.
Just like boom.
I'm gonna say this real fast. To add to the wisdom of Miss AP, I'm gonna say this real fast. To add to the wisdom of Miss AP, dealing with religion. I'm just saying, dealing with religion, a ritualistic practice to continue to build families. Even though we having this, I can't believe I'm saying this. Even though we're having this thing where we're trying to teach sexuality and pronouns in order to build families and continue to grow, at some point, some of these pronouns would get denounced, only because the circle of life requires male and female. I just want to put that little tidbit right there. Just
Mhm.
think about it. That's a practice, but that's also a practice that's proven. Not to go against anybody choosing a particular way of life on how they want to express themselves sexually. I'm not shooting against that. I'm just saying that we're talking about procreation. There's a practice that goes with that, and it's been
Right.
proven for millions of years. That's all I'm saying. I want to say that real quick. I'm not trying to cut off anything, just want to add to the wisdom which AP had just said. That's all.
I don't have anything to add. This was a learning episode for me. I just sat back and I just listened. I
I
didn't
learned
have
a lot too.
I
I
didn't have
definitely learned a lot.
yeah. Ivy, you was on fire tonight. King Newborn, you was on fire tonight. Master Skywalker, you was on fire tonight. Saul, you was on fire tonight. Thank you for the phone call. Love Shot, Ngandi, Renee, everyone who dropped a comment. Y'all was on fire tonight. Yeah. And this is why we have this show, things that people don't want to talk about. And we could talk about it here without getting upset, without getting angry,
Right.
with love, compassion, and understanding.
No emotion, no feeling, open mind, because this is
Open
all that
mind.
I know.
All right.
And all that I know don't mean that I can't learn something else.
There we go.
With that being said, next week's podcast is going to be, oh man, we basically did it this week, didn't we?
No.
Spirituality. We're gonna jump right into spirituality next week.
Because I was gonna slide in, depending on how you look at tonight's podcast. Some would say
We talked
the Holy
about it.
Ghost was
Yeah.
present.
Mm.
Yeah.
You just said everybody was on fire. I
Hmm.
mean, the conscious mind was all
Yeah.
over the place tonight doing its thing.
Okay.
We touching New York. Ain't that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Who,
so the
who,
conscious mind, we was being on the collective.
we need our children to be taught, and unfortunately, a lot of children are not being taught anything at home. This is why we have so many misguided youths.
Come on,
Yeah,
Disclaimer.
man.
yeah. Have to trust the process, or you will lose it, hun. Ha ha. So true.
Disclaimer.
Mhm.
This is for entertainment purposes only.
I can't with him. I
No,
can't.
we're gonna no. We have I have a special guest for us next week. I'm really hoping that she will be able to join us. She was in here tonight. Her name is Ngandi.
Oh, awesome.
And she is going to talk about spirituality. She can take it places that we have yet to scratch the surface of.
Let's go.
So
Let's do it.
I look forward. I'm hoping that she will be able to have the time off. She did say she was going to watch tonight. Thank you. I call her mother. Yeah, because that woman. When Saul said books, my first mind went to her because she has a collection of books, a 1611 Bible, and I'm like, whoa. I didn't even.
Oh,
I
okay. I
didn't,
see where. Okay. Okay. See, y'all finna.
yeah,
Make sure
we
we got
didn't.
another disclaimer for next week.
So yeah, I want to thank everyone for jumping on tonight's podcast. Comments, Saul calling in. I want to thank my panel, Ivy, Aaron. Aaron, you even though you was having some technical difficulties,
Man.
baby, you stuck in there. I want
Man,
to
I
thank
went to the
King.
phone.
Yeah, I see. He's
I
like,
said,
forget
forget
that.
this.
Yeah. King Newboy, you was on fire tonight, and our producer, Master John Skywalker. We will see you all back here next week. Thank you. John, you got me?
Yep, yep, yep.
Peace, family.